our brains are plastic, so we know our brains are constantly changing and adapting to our environment, whatever that environment happens to be. And we know that our brains change throughout our lives, and it's use it or lose it. So you're either using your brain and therefore it's getting stronger, or using different abilities and they get stronger, or you stop using them and they get worse. And that's why we're having this problem, because we're giving up a lot of our tasks to the phone rather than actually using our own brain to do a lot of those things, which is really bad for innovation and creativity and collaboration and these things. But also things like attention are decreasing, and we know attention's decreasing because we can study that quite easily, and that is based on how long we're actually looking at things. And because the videos and all these things are getting shorter and shorter, we're actually not able to attend for as long to things because we're not attending to anything for very long. And our attention is constantly being grabbed by things. So, a lot of people have notifications on their email, on their laptop, as well as having social media notifications and all these things. And each time one of those things beeps, your attention gets shifted to that thing. And so each time that happens, you're using your attention for less amount of time. And so therefore that ability is getting less and less able to do those things, to actually attend to things for longer. And so, but people are less likely to watch videos and those sorts of things for as long as they used to. I was told by someone recently, because I like to talk, and they were saying that, I only want you to talk for less than 2 minutes, because all of our research is showing that, anything more than 2 minutes and people will start turning off, which is just nuts. Whereas 20 years ago, people would listen to answers for up to 10 to 15 minutes, whereas they don't now. They only listen for 2 minutes. So our attention span is getting shorter, and our attention span is what is necessary. I mean, your attention is what drives the information into your working memory so that it can be held there for long enough, so it can be transferred to this temporary store and then transferred to your long-term memory, so you actually remember that information. And if your attention isn't maintained for long enough, it won't be transferred to that long-term store. Or if your attention gets caught by something, such as a notification, then it actually deletes everything in your working memory. So our working memory, every time our attention shifts, is being wiped, and we lose the last 90 seconds of what we were doing. So every time you get a beep on your phone, or every time your email little thing icon comes up, or every time you get a social media notification or anything like that, or Teams or any of those things, you lose the last 90 seconds of what you were doing. So imagine how many times you're losing 90 seconds of your thought processes, your thinking time each day. It's a huge amount of time we're all losing every day, which is why we're so busy these days, but we're less productive these days, because we're losing all of that, and we're losing the ability to do that. So we need to be spending more time actually attending to things. And we know children, the younger a child is given a device, or the younger a child is allowed to use a device, the more likely they are to have ADHD or have ADHD-like symptoms. And that's, of course, an attentional disorder, because of the fact that they never learn how to actually control their attention, and they never develop that ability. So, it is a huge problem, and it's a huge problem in society. And the more you are flipping from one thing to another, the more you won't be able to actually attend to something for a long period of time.